and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today things are gonna get a little bit bloody, so I hope you guys are ready. I kind of want to upgrade my setup, and to get started with that, we're gonna need to fight the Wither. Yeah, just a little bit. Since we're gonna be working with blood magic and getting a little bit into that, well, I need access to my items from a good distance away. So to get access to unlimited distance and also cross-dimensional distance, well, all I gotta do is just kill a measly Wither, right? That should be pretty easy. Maybe. It might be easy, it might not. I'm sort of thinking maybe fight the Wither inside of an area like this. Should be okay. I think maybe we can contain the Wither for the most part. Since we can fly, it shouldn't be too bad to kill the Wither in here. So long as it's got a roof above it, I think we might be able to handle this. So let's go ahead and try it right off. Oop, can't place it on the wall. And actually, we could kill the Wither without even doing this. We could kill the Wither with a builder, or with a, I guess we could easily kill the Wither technically with our mob crusher, mob grinder. Like, it can do it as well. I want to try and kill it legit first, and then we can work on setting that up. I have no problem doing that later. So to get started, of course, we have the Wither. I want to see if these shurikens will work. If not, I will break down and just start using the sword. As you can see, I have a little bit of armor. Here's what I don't know, though. Yeah, does the shurikens work? It looks like they do. But do they work past the part where, like, arrows stop working? That's what I want to know. Oh yeah, it seems... Okay, so it seems right here, it's the stopping point. Okay, I shouldn't have let him out. But I am just going to go ahead and chop away. It doesn't seem like we're taking any damage, which is kind of crazy. But I also don't want to lose the item, so... And there we go. So, not too bad, right? We got this shark after us. All these sharks. Holy smokes. They're going to do more damage than anything. Alright, so I think we ended up getting our star. Ah, man. All of that. Well, it wasn't too bad. This actually held up. This was a pretty good arena. Like, if you're going to fight it, like, definitely destroy all the Shoggoth stuff and, like, use this as an arena. This worked great. So we ended up getting a scroll, the Wither Ash, also some another star, which we need, a Withering Soul. All of this stuff we could automate later on. Like, automating the Wither so long as we had a way to get Wither skeletons, which, of course, we can use a mob duplicator to do that. Like, that is not, like, a big deal. But I needed this for one simple thing, and that is the simple storage controller remote here. And this access it from a limited distance. That's not the one I want. I want this one, which is actually a little bit easier to make. So long as we have the proper stuff. I'm surprised I don't have any magma. I guess I didn't make any of that. And then, let's see, Ender pearls. I just have one Ender dust. Wow. So it looks like I'm going to the end. This should definitely get me some more Ender pearls. So after going to the end, I find that I'm going to have to do this like every now and then. And I just kind of fly around the end, let them all, you know, follow me, and then I just, yeah, let this mob crusher do the job, which really would do the same thing for the Wither. So yeah, this thing will kill the Wither for you in like less than 2 seconds. It's pretty insane. So without further ado, here is the advanced storage remote. Ah, it's gonna be so nice. We can access this now from anywhere. So I just click it on there, and what I can do is I can just throw my regular remote in there. I don't need it anymore. And I can now access my storage from anywhere, even cross-dimensionally, especially because we have the area chunk loaded. But now I can be over here working with blood magic, and man, doesn't it make so much sense to have all these sheep over here for blood magic? It really does. I mean, if this sheep stays here, I mean, all I got to do is, you know, give it a little sacrifice, and right there, this thing will actually fill with blood. But I'm not going to be doing that because there's faster ways. Of course, last episode, and if you missed it, what we did was underneath here is actually a environmental controller, which is right here, environmental controller, which has a saturation plus module in it that is just kind of affecting this small area. So it only requires like 5 RF per tick. It's pretty crazy. And we can just constantly do damage to ourselves. Let's see, blood magic. And bam. Look at that. We have like instant regeneration. Like it's pretty quick. So what I want to do is I want to set up some blank slates. So I need stone for this. Like regular stone. I'm going to take some regular stone, and that's what we're going to use to upgrade our altar here. Because we need to get this up to a little higher tier than what it currently is. Right now it's at a tier 1. So we really can't do too much with blood magic as of right now. And it'd be really nice to have like an actual like mob farm that we can do. I'm finding it really difficult to set up a mob farm here for some reason. I tried to set up mob farms over here and they just didn't work the way that I was hoping they would. I don't know if it's because some things can spawn on these islands. It's like we'd have to get rid of like a lot of these islands in order to get an actual spawner to work. But what we could do is probably like have something spawn. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do, but it's just coming up with a way to put that into practice. That is going to be the problem. So I need a chest because I want to set up automation for this. And then we need an item pipe right here and an item cable. So I'm going to set up pretty much the same thing that we have set up over here. So I'll place a chest. We'll have an item extraction pipe, and then I'm going to use a cable. Now what this allows us to do is to put in more items than we could by hand, because by hand we can only do one at a time. And then over here, I've run at least one item of the blank slate, and I set this, which is not by default. I put it to the allow list, which is basically blacklisting items, or allowing specific items. It's a whitelist, and I've whitelisted the blank slate. So, because by default, it would actually pull out the stone. So if you put stone in here, it would default pull it out. So we need to filter it. And in that case, I can do like 8 at a time. Like if this is a full altar, I should be able to do 10 at a time. Because technically it's 1 a piece, right, for a slate. Pretty sure it's 1,000. And this by default holds 10,000 LP. So if we put 10 in here, and this is full, it should actually take all 10, and it's going to process all 10. It's going to take that much time, though, to process them all. It's going to take the same amount of time to process them individually as it would to do 10. But all I got to do is just sort of make sure that there's a little bit more. Like, as it's going through, we just kind of take care of everything, right? Let me check my nutrition. So my nutrition, by the way, I don't think it's going to change. Like, if I'm taking damage, my nutrition doesn't take any damage, but it's all based upon what you eat. And for the longest time, I was actually eating the cake that I got from the Twilight Forest, which actually is a really good food. So that's definitely something I recommend. That cake that you get from the Urgas Tower, that's some good stuff. And it definitely was healing me and really increasing all of these. I think it has all these different values associated with it. So I've went ahead and made a speed rune. This is going to help things go a little bit quicker. And I also have a reinforced slate that I just made. I want to use this. You would think that you would want to go for the sacrifice. That's not. The sacrifice would be if you were going to actually be killing mobs to generate your life. That's not what I'm doing. So I'm going to be doing the self-sacrifice one. For this, we're going to need some yellow dye, and then we're just going to need our apprentice blood orb, and this will get us the rune of self-sacrifice. So really, I want a mixture of both of these things for this. I want to eventually get this whole thing set up. So we have speed runes that are going around here. And then I want to have it set up so these corners are going to be self-sacrifice. This is all going to be super, super helpful in the amount of actual life points that is given to our altar per, little stabby stab here. So that's kind of what I want. And these are going to help the craft go faster. Because right now it does take a little bit of time. So you definitely want to activate these speed runes. Now the good thing is you don't really need any of these runes right now. You really don't. You don't need them like right away. So we can take these blanks and we can go ahead and start upgrading this bit by bit. And I can go ahead and get the speed runes up and running. Now be careful with the speed runes because you have to keep in mind that if you go over the amount of LP, then it'll start reversing the craft and you basically just losing out on life points. You don't want that. So let's go ahead and get these last 2 done. So there's a speed and there's a speed right here. Well, let me place it. Oh, the sheep's in the way. Get out of here. There we go. So now that we have the speed, you're probably going to notice this is going to be a bit faster on the crafting. Specifically this. So I'm going to upgrade this, which is good because I want this to turn into the next tier. And I think to turn into the next tier, it requires 2000 LP and it turns into the reinforced slate. So it is going to be a bit faster, which is always greatly appreciated because of these speed runes. But as you can see, it's not like horribly, it's not like super fast, but it is fast enough. And I need to get 3 more of these for the self-sacrifice before we move on to, the next tier and start working on that. So there is something I would like to make that's called the sentient sword, and it's going to require us to get ourselves a hell forge, which, I mean, in itself is not too horribly bad. We are going to need some cobblestone, mainly because I've got to go back to our island. And I'm going to smelt some of this stuff up. I'm actually running out of stone. Good thing that we got all this mechanism stuff set up because smelting this should be pretty easy. All I got to do is throw the cobblestone in here and bam, it's ready to go. Actually, this is my input. So yeah, just toss it all in here and all of it's going to get output over into this chest. Super easy. So yes, we do need the Hellforge. So let's go back to Blood Magic and take a look at that. It's not too bad to make this thing, and it's going to be very useful. So this is just one tiny component of stuff that we need. We actually need to make the Arcane Ashes, and that's going to be made in here. And we also need the Tartaric gem, a Petty Tartaric. So that is going to require a Shadow Fragment, looks like some bronze, ash, and blue dye powder. All of these things I need to kind of remember. Actually, I might be able to pull them in. Ooh, I can pull them in through here. That's pretty handy. So that way I can just like pull them out of our storage and then there we go. We have them like ready to make inside this thing. So let's just go ahead and place this down. It doesn't really matter where, but it is going to require, I think, some soul. So a demonic will, just at least 1. So let's go ahead and throw these in here. I'm pretty sure it does require a demonic will. Yes, a demonic will is right here. You can see that the will quality is actually pretty high on this one. So that should get us a Tartaric. And we need to use this to make the Arcane Ashes. So let's go ahead and grab this. And we can get all the different items that we're going to need for it. How handy is that? And then what we should be able to do is I'm going to take this, throw this on the ground. And when we pick it up, it actually goes into my Petty Tartaric. So what I can do is now use this and then set that up, and it's going to use the, like, any souls that we pick up is going to go into this gem. And there we go. We have ourselves some Arcane Ashes. Now, the Arcane Ashes is going to be really nice because it allows us to make these sigils. So you can see right here, the Arcane Ashes is what we use. And you can see we have a haste reagent for certain things. There is one thing that I really want that is a sigil, and that is the Divination Sigil. That's going to kind of give us some more information. So you can see the catalyst is going to be redstone, and then we take a blank slate, and then we have the Divination Sigil. So let's go ahead and grab a blank slate for this piece of redstone, and we're going to make ourselves one. I know, it's going to be pretty interesting. So if I place this on the ground, you can see we have this like kind of figure thing going here. If we right click it with redstone, we get this, and then we hit it with a slate, and we're going to have this really cool like animation happen. And this is going to create that item for us. It's doing a ritual. I just think this is super cool. And there we go. And now we have a Divination Sigil. It says peer into the soul. So by default, it's going to tell us our current LP that we have. But when we look at our altar, it's going to give us more information. So let's go take a look at our altar. Actually, what I could do is I could just set my Ender book over here and just call it like our blood magic area. And we can teleport back and forth. That's going to make things a lot easier. So let's just say blood magic. Perfect. And then we'll call that new. So now we can teleport back and forth fairly quickly. And as you can see, with me looking at this, it tells me in the top left-hand corner that this is a tier 2 altar. and how much life essence is actually inside. You can see, and our total, which is super helpful. Also now our actual like HUD, which is above us, which is our walla, it actually tells us as well while we're holding this item only. And as you can see, this is current capacity, 10,000, and then we have 9,780 LP currently stored inside, and the current tier is 2. So, very useful information. This is going to be super helpful, especially as we go to build upon our setups. So now, onto this sword. This sword is actually going to be very important to me. You can see that it's going to require some will. It says right here, maximum will 0, but that's not exactly true. But all we need is a petty Tartaric, which we have to make a secondary one, and then we can get the sentient sword. And all we got to do is use a standard demonic will in order to get that. So, and we need an iron sword for this. Not too bad to get. We do need some rudimentary snares though. And we're gonna need ash. It looks like I am running a little low on ash, which is weird because all it is wood that gets smelted up. So I'm gonna grab some of my logs. We're gonna head back home. Wow, I love the teleporting. It's like super crazy fast. Actually, I could have just teleported to our mechanism area. That could have been something we could have done. Yeah, it looks like I can't throw them in there. It actually has to go into an actual smeltery. Kind of strange, I guess. Yeah, that's something. All right, actually, it might be able to go into... I was thinking it might be able to go to any other machine, but it doesn't really look like it. Okay, so ash is what we need. Let's go ahead and get back into blood magic, and we just need some snares. I only need a couple, so we really just need to kill a couple mobs with these snares. And we've done this before. We've done this like when we first started getting into a little bit of blood magic. But all you're gonna need is a hostile mob of some sort. And I did put lights in here. I didn't mean to do that. That's actually been here for a while. So that light's broken. That light is broken. Okay. I think I turned these off because I wanted to get mobs to spawn in my actual base, and they just weren't. So this will be a decent way for me to get some will. So now that we have some mobs in here, I should be able to use it on them. And hopefully it'll affect them. Some mobs might not actually be affected by it. It's kind of unfortunate. Let's see. Did I get any will? Did not. So yeah, it's going to be trial and error. I'm just going to have to keep crafting snares and, you know, go with the flow. It might honestly be easier for me just to travel to, like, these areas. Let's see. How many is it going to take? They don't even seem to be affected by it. Maybe it's not skeletons. I just hit you so many times with that and it didn't even work. Okay, I'm gonna try and find, like, here we go. Here's a creeper. This should be affected by it. What? Are you guys affected by it? There's a Sigma LP. Where did Sigma come from? How come the snares aren't working? No way. All right. This might be a problem. It worked. Maybe it was an update. Or maybe... Oh no, they were affected. I just couldn't see the particle effects. Because I got a will. Okay, good. That's all I needed was just one will. Oh my goodness. So to get this to work, I should be able to use a Tartaric in this and this. Yes. Okay. And I still need to make another Tartaric. But now that we have the sentient sword, we should be able to get will a lot quicker. Like now when we actually kill mobs with this sword, they should drop will. Or at least that's the thing. It says, yeah, unleash its full potential. So yes, contains raw will. All right. So yes, killing mobs with this now should drop will. At least that's the goal. Don't you do it, creeper. So yes, as you can see, that just dropped will. We can just kind of chill out here and take on some mobs. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of mobs here. And I don't know if this is that sort of thing where if you hold it in your offhand, it'll work. Here we go. Yeah, just let them all... Yeah, man, this is a mob farm. Why don't I build my mob farm here? This seems to be working just fine as a mob farm. Holy smokes. All of this will as well that's building up. So just from that little bit of fighting, this is how much will we were actually able to gain. Now, it's not all that great, right? Because we actually need to be storing this in a Tartaric. So let's go ahead and grab this, because I mean, this just clogs up your inventory. Every single one of these has a different value associated to it. So what we really need is this. And that's just, I mean, that's just how it's going to be. And yeah, it looks like I need to go back and grab some more ash, because it seems like ash is going to be very, very useful in this mod. So I wound up making just a few of these. I think I have 3 stored up. So what I can do is toss all of this will out, and of course pick it up. And instead of it going in my inventory, it goes inside here. And this will contain some will. Now, we are going to need these in order to upgrade them. As you can see, this will store more. And that's why I made a few more of these, because we will need the higher tiers of Tartaric gems later on down the road. And it does, like, it does explain a little bit of what you're going to need. You can see you need a petty Tartaric here, and then you actually need a specific amount of will. The minimum is 60, and it's going to drain 20 will, but you do need 60 stored inside of your petty Tartaric before you can make the lesser Tartaric, and it's going to require another Tartaric in order to make that one. And same goes for each step, right? And it's going to require more and more will as you go up, but certain crafts actually require higher tiers of Tartarics, so just keep that in mind as you're working towards certain things. So there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to get into blood magic, and one of those we're about to make. So I went ahead and farmed a little bit more, and this Tartaric is actually completely full, has 64 will stored in it, and kind of puts a limit on how long we can farm. I really didn't farm very long, and that's how much we actually got. So just enough for me to have like 2 diamond swords in my inventory. Like it really wasn't that much. But I'm looking for the water sigil and also the lava sigil. These are 2 really, really useful things to have. And I love that I can just pull the items out just like that. But as you can see, this one's going to require a Tartaric, not in the crafting, but to actually make it. So all it's going to require is this, and bam, we're going to get that reagent made up. Pretty simple here. And it's going to use a little bit of our will. Right? And we can leave this Tartaric in here. And as you can see, we got our buckets back and everything. The other one, however, is going to require lava. It's going to require a bucket of lava and a block of coal that we apparently don't have. Block of coal. So I can, of course, make one. Just throwing that together. It's going to be really useful to make this thing. And I believe this will allow us to place lava, but it's going to use LP out of our soul network. And we're going to talk a little bit about the soul network here in a minute. So yeah, we already have the compactor in here. So let's just go ahead and make some coal blocks. Why not? There we go. And there's the single block that we need. And voila. We'll take this back over here and we'll get this all hooked up. So let's go ahead and place these items in here. And I think that was it, right? It needed cobblestone and block and a piece of redstone. So there we go. And these are going to get us the reagents. And I don't think, yeah, it's anything special. It just requires a blank slate. Perfect. And it's pretty much the same little setup that we had before, that we did to get this sigil, the divination sigil. We place this down, we hit it with what we're going to be making it with, and then we give it a rune, or a blank slate, not a rune, and it's going to make a sigil for us. Look at this one. And it tells us actually what the reagent and catalyst is. And as you can see, we have lava. And now I should be able to click this on the ground. And as you can see, it just generated lava. Right. It's basically lava. It's not infinite, but it is lava. Same goes for the water. It's going to work the exact same way. We place this down and we hit it with the water reagent. And then we hit it with a rune, or a slate, sorry. And then we're going to get ourselves infinite water. Like this is pretty nice. And I like I said, I want to talk about the soul network. So here we go. So as of right now, our divination sigil is going to tell us when we right click how much essence we actually have in our soul network. You can see we have 110. Well, I just used a lot of what we had to make this lava. To put more LP in your soul network, you can actually take one of your blood orbs and you can right click this. So if I right click this, you see it just hurt me a little bit and we went up to 310. Hit this again, we went up to 5. So it's giving us what, 200 LP each time I do this. But what you can also do is you can toss that in here and it's actually going to pull the blood out of our altar in order to fill this. So you can see it's going to slowly start going up because it's draining LP from our actual source here. And then you can see it's also, you know, dissipating from our current amount. And that's another way you can do it. Like if that's what you want to do, go for it this way. Both ways work great. This way, like you're going to do some damage, but you can also kill yourself. So be careful with that. You don't want to do that. And so if we take a look right now, we have 4,000. We're about to be at 5,000. I think does it tell you the cost? It doesn't tell you the cost, I don't think. So let's just say right now we have almost 6,000, right? Let's just say it's at 6,000 now. We just used that. It dropped 2,000. So, oh no, it dropped 1,000. So this costs 1,000 LP to generate lava. Now, water shouldn't be as expensive. Water definitely will probably be a lot cheaper. So let's go ahead and kind of see what that is. So this is at 7,000. We used water, like you don't even notice it. It's probably like less than 100 LP. It's definitely like less than 100 LP, something like that. And so some things may be more efficient, like it may be more efficient for you to do the self-sacrifice here to fill the blood altar because we have these runes of self-sacrifice, which give us more, than it would be to actually use this on its own. So later on, there is ways of actually keeping your LP pocket full, and then you would have access to unlimited lava because there's actual rituals. There's rituals you can use that will allow a piece of lava to always be persistent in a certain place that you set up the ritual. So it's pretty cool. So this is a great reason, I think, to get into blood magic. So hopefully one thing we can do is, as this is a pretty weak sword, we should be able to repair it. Yes. So we can actually repair this sword using our power. And as you can see, the durability is going up. Very nice. And I love the tracking, the statistics things. You can see that I've killed 56 enemies with this and the amount of damage that was actually dealt. I wish it showed on here. That'd be kind of cool because we've killed a lot of stuff with this. But this, you can see how quickly it actually just repairs and then bam, we're good to go. So we can continue to use this thing over and over again. So of course, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to one of my Patreons, and that is going to go to Neil. Thank you so much, Neil, for becoming a new Patreon. I really do appreciate you. And guys, of course, if you want to become a Patreon yourself, be sure to check out the description down below. And guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, of course, and learned something. If you did, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video a thumbs up, as it really lets me know that you guys do appreciate these videos. And guys, I hope to see you in the next episode. You guys know how it goes. As always, thanks for watching.